Hello and welcome to the stream. Today I log in. Let me just jump into the game here. So I log into the game after an update on Xbox, and this is a server I haven't really been playing on. I just been doing some little things and whatnot. So I jump in here, and right away, uh, the I get raided, and that's not a big deal normally. So I get raided, and they I mean, they were way stronger. So before I got off, I went out and I leveled because I had to level to unlock some more things, technology points and whatnot. So I went out and I did a bunch of levels, like 3 or 4 levels, 5 levels, and then I logged off. And then when I logged on, okay, so now they're rating me. Well, they're way higher level than me, and I leveled up to catching lower pets. So I mean, my pets are, they're my level, but they're nothing extraordinary. And yeah, so they came and I threw everything I could at them, and I mean wiped. I mean wiped. Like they foundation wiped me. My PAL box, everything was gone. So all I had was stacks and stacks of just crap laying on the ground. All my pals were dead. I mean, I even switched them out in the middle of raid until they broke the box, and then I couldn't switch them out anymore, and I only had what I had on me, and they killed all 4 of my pals I had on me. I had a fifth pal on me, and they didn't kill him, and thank God I didn't throw him out because he was my transportation pal. And so I was able to get back to the base because if you don't know, if they kill your PAL base thing, then you don't have a transport there. So you can't just teleport. So then you got to teleport close and get back to get your stuff and get everything. So what I did is I did that. So I don't know if you guys have been out here, but I lived right in the middle of this island right here. And I really love this island. I'm going to start by explaining why, which is how you can also get to where I'm at, my new base is. So here was my old base. In this area here, there's 2 of the 3 tames that I think you absolutely or must have, and they're lower level tames. So I mean, you'll need to be roughly around a level 5 with it, like maybe a fox or two to be able to get them because I mean they're a little stronger. They're like 5 to 9 is what their levels are, so they're a little harder to get. But 2 of them, that's they spawn here and they're regular, so you don't have to hunt them down. And one of them's the Rushor, which is the little warthog thing. He farms stone and metal, or yeah, metal for you, metal ore. If you sit on him and you hold the rush button, I don't have him on me, I don't think. If you hold the rush button, he will rush into the stone pile or whatever, and he will give you like 27 or something like that. Crazy amount. When you have to sit there and hit over and over and over, I mean, look how long it takes. And if you don't have a metal pick, it takes even longer, and then you have to repair it. You know what I mean? So they're super handy to have. It'll get you from level 5 to about level 25 or so, and you set up your mining base, and then you won't really need him anymore after that. But he's a great starter to get you going and get you because you're going to need that metal. And trust me, you're not going to want to go farm when you need 10 metal ore. It's like, I gotta go get 10 metal ore. That's or so 10 metal. That's 20 metal ore, and you're getting them every like one every 3 to 4 hits or something like that. It's ridiculous. Anyways, so that's one thing pet you get there. The second pet that you get over there is the dire wolf, which is my transportation. He is he's the fastest land mount until you get up into the 20s. Um, because just riding him just regular, I mean, look how fast he is. I mean, this is a starting area that I'm in, but he's pretty fast. I haven't even hit the turbo. You know what I mean? Once I hit turbo, he's gone. And I can go for days. Like you can cover a lot on this with this guy, is what I'm trying to say. So, those are the 2 teams that you get over there. That's where I used to live. But I highly recommend you get those 2. There's another tame, it's called the Vixie. I'll go over her later when I get to the base, but she's found right in this kind of area, right in this area here, which this area here is where your tutorial ends. So you start here, your tutorial ends right here at the Rune Syndicate Tower. And you'll basically follow the path all the way there. You'll probably run into her, every once in a while down in here, but you'll find her like right in this area all the time. And you'll need her. She's very great early game and even into the mid game. She's very great. So you'll need her. I'm going to teleport to my base, and then we will start talking about the base. So the new base that I got, so this is where I was living. Is in this. This is the starting area. Oh, and there's another point I wanted to make really quick before we go. Is when you first get into the game, go do whatever you're gonna do, enjoy the game, this and this and this. But when you're down to, you really want to make a base location. What you need to do is, like, if you've already started collecting stuff, then make a little box, stick it right here. Put all your gear in it, everything that you've collected, so you don't lose it. And then you go up here and hit respawn, and you will die. So you'll die just like that. All your gear's left there, so you'll lose your gear and everything. But you won't lose it. It depends on what difficulty you have it on. But if it's normal or easy, you won't lose your gear. If it's hard or death mode, then yeah, you'll lose your gear. But see these spawn points that pop up. So these are the starting locations. These are the ice starting locations. These are marshy kind of. Well, this one's kind of marshy. Sorry, the controller doesn't really work very well on the map. It's really difficult. You'll see me getting frustrated with it. But the marshy kind of area here, this area, the one that I like, it's a really good area for that kind of stuff. What I recommend doing is if you spawn into one, um, if you spawn into one like this one here, or maybe it's not that one, like this one here, you'll see. So here first, just look at where they're at, kind of, and then I'll spawn back in so I can show you the actual map, and I'll grab my stuff. So if you spawn back in, your stuff will be here. If you had a box, you'll have it all in the box. But when you transport there, or when you teleport over there, like after dying, and the reason why you want to die is because then you'll unlock, like this one. This is where one of them is. You'll pop out. Sorry, see it doesn't go to the thing. Okay, you'll pop out there, and then you'll be right next to a teleporter. So you can just grab the teleporter, right? And then you just keep doing that. You don't have to come back to the starting spot, especially that's why you put a box down, so you don't have to keep gathering your loot. Um, just when you first do it, like make sure your stuff's in a box, then do it. Then you'll grab that one. This one doesn't have one. Um, this one doesn't have one. This one over here doesn't have one. They're the only two that don't. So this one will have a teleporter. These two both have teleporters. These two both have teleporters, and then of course the starting one. The only thing I recommend doing is when you very first start, before you start teleporting around, um, well, before you set up your base location, you can either do two things. You can set up your base location between here and here to get your tutorial quest done, but then you'll be so far into your base, even though it's still starting, you'll feel like you don't want to move it. So I don't always recommend doing that right away because you'll be stuck where everybody's at trying to mess with you and stuff like that. So that's something I wouldn't do. But I do recommend running down, getting this one, and getting this one. And then once you unlock those two teleports, because they're right on the path, you're not going to fight anything along the way. Um, Nothing's aggressive except for I think you can run into rushers every once in a while. Those guys are mostly up here in the autumn leaf area, but you can find them sometimes down in here. So you might run into them, but they're not that hard. I'm sure you can deal with them. And like I said, they're up here when you want to tame them, like for sure, guaranteed tame. And then So I would recommend doing that. That way you can always teleport back and do the tutorial. And there's also other things that you'll want to grab around here and stuff like that. So that's what I would do when I first get in to do it. So that's what I did. And then I will now show you. So I lived here. I found this base on a different server. I was looking for stuff, but the base is right here. The level stuff around here is roughly going to be around 24 or 25 level, and they're not going to be easy, especially when you're low level. You can get up here. The earliest I recommend getting up here, and I don't know how easy it would be to do it otherwise, is to wait until you're around level 15. When you're level 15, you can you can unlock a flight saddle, and then you can get here easy. Um, but until you unlock that saddle, you're not going to be able to get here very easy. You're going to die a lot. It's not going to be worth it. It's going to be worth just staying down where you're at and not even worrying about it. Um, so I will go over the space. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. Sorry about that. Um, so I'll go over the space. Basically, let me see. Do I have my? Yes, I do. Okay, this is the starter bird that you get. This one's at the starting area. Starting area is going to be, down in here. The bird flies around the Mamarest area here. You'll see him every once in a while. Um, you usually get him between, anytime, but you can't use him for a flyer until level 15. So, um, but yeah, so you can you can get it down here, but like I said, you can't fly it until you're like level 15 or something like that, and then you get the saddle unlocked. So like I said, the earliest you can get it, you can find him here. It's the easiest way to get it. Again, if you did your spawn points, like I said, they are down in this water area where I lived. There's always two of them that fly back and forth right here, and so you can always get them there too. So if you get to around 15, you're ready to move on from the starting areas and stuff like that. Then you can go up here and get that for sure. Then you can grab your rush ore and you should already have a rush ore by now. But you could also grab the dire wolf, which you get that as early as you can. Honestly, they're a little rough to get at first, but like I said, with a couple good foxes and things, you can pick it up, no problem. Just fight them close. I mean, there's nothing that bad on that island. That's the only thing that attacks you is those. And rush ores will, but you got to really be close to them in their face to get them to attack you. But so anyway, so the base location, I'm going to just take you down to the boss here. Yes, that's true. There is also, good point a buddy of mine just made. Um, so if you're looking for a certain pet, you have the Paladeck here. I just make sure nothing's over here, because there's bad things that can spawn here and kill me. Um, see, there's some guys right there. I could kill those guys pretty easily, but they're kind of a pain in the butt. I'm only leveled like 23 or something. So anyways, if you're looking for a certain one, like let's say you're looking for let's see which one's the Vixie example. If you go to her and you go to the habitat, see where she is on the. I can't move my other cursor over there to show you, but see the orange spot? That's where she's at. So you could just you can always look up and see on there, and if it's not unlocked, then you can't really see it, but you can kind of see where it is. Um, So like example, let's go back and try and look for the rush ore. These things are everywhere, honestly, but that one island, I just know they always spawn there. I looked for them where the Vixies are on here, and that's where they're also supposed to spawn, see? And they just don't. They don't spawn there. I've barely seen any there. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but like you see on the other ones, they're out on those islands, so it's a good way to get those that way. Da, 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 da. I think that's those two, the direwolf, that the Vixie. Where's the other birdie? Let's see what this one says. So that one, I guess, is all over the place. But yeah, you see right there in the starting area over the Mamarest, it does. And then on the islands, it does as well, the starting islands. Um, and there's a trick, which I will show you right now. So to get here, basically, you just have to get to one of these spawn areas. Like I said, you can get this one for free. You can get this one for free. Then you have to unlock these. Like this one, I didn't even realize it was there when I was exploring, and I went and unlocked this one instead. But if you get down here, so in the water and stuff, if you haven't played the game, if you're in the water, you lose stamina. When you lose stamina, you die because you drowned. I mean, there isn't like a oxygen meter or anything. You just die. That's it. So you can't run out of stamina in the water, or else you'll die. With your pets, it's the same thing. If they run out of stamina in the water, so if I was on my wolf right now, he'd be swimming, so he'd be low on stamina. Even though the wolf is super good in the water, which is another reason, here I'll show you, which is another reason why I love him. Um, but I'll show you the thing with his, with the stamina too. So, so see how he's got stamina. So he's slowly losing it. See, he's a pretty fast, like he's just like he's on land. And then if I speed it up, now this is full speed, so he doesn't get very much boost. But I mean, I can make it pretty far in the water, with a wolf. But again, if you are trying to do it without a bird, and you have the wolf, if he gets, let's say he's out of stamina right now, like he's gonna, oh no, he's out of stamina, I'm not quite there. You just jump off of him, grab him. Now you have full stamina, but if you run out, you die. And you go a lot slower, so just make sure if you're trying to do it that way to be careful. Um, but and if you notice, probably when I was on the bird, as long as he's hovering on the ground like this, he doesn't use his stamina unless you push him to go fast. See what I mean? Or you fly. So if you push A to fly, right? So if you land on water, you're still hovering, so you don't lose stamina. Nothing bad so far in Palworld, and this is all so far from when I made the video on these things. So some of the tricks, like this one, they may fix, or also like nothing that I've came across can hurt me in the water except for this boss here. And this boss here, I mean, he's in shallows roughly, so some of it's deep, some of it's shallow. You know what I mean? So you can see him coming. So you're not gonna, you don't have to worry. But I took the bird out because I was looking for places. I took him all the way out here and all the way back, and this is a big distance too. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't be able to make that without having the stamina trick. But that's how you do the water thing. And so you can come down here, then you just use the waterways, come up the riverway, come up these waterfalls, and that's why you would need basically the bird is to avoid any kind of confrontation with the wildlife. Because if I get too close to some of these wildlife, they'll shoot me right out of the sky. I mean, if I aggro them, there's a chance that I will be shot out of the sky and be on my own with just my pet. You know what I mean? With my deck. With what's in my hand. And if I can't fight them, I can't fight them. And this place out here is pretty rugged, especially for my level. Like this thing here, he's pretty rugged. I mean, I could probably kill him. He's just by himself, but you get a pack of four of them, or the priests and stuff with um, with the grenade launchers and things like that. It's not going to go easy. So the first thing I did though is I picked up here for a couple reasons. The main thing was um, I noticed on my other one, even though it looked like it's a big flat area down here, it wasn't a big flat area. You can't build even close to the shores of water. It just won't let you. Like, I mean, you can build it, but like once you get to where it's like a border. So if you have a blue ring when you build your base, from where you put your pal thing out. See this blue ring right here? This blue ring kind of tells you how far it goes. So you want to be able to use the whole blue ring because you have so much stuff that you have to put out eventually. And then if you want to be efficient, and especially if you have like a tribe of bunch of people, you're going to want a lot of area. And you can build extra bases, which I'll go over the mine base later. Um, but you'll see what I mean. You have a lot of stuff and you'll need a lot of space because your pals get so big. Like you probably noticed when I accidentally threw this guy out. I mean, he doesn't fit anywhere. You know what I mean? How is he going to fit through a doorway? He just doesn't. He doesn't. So when you tell him to do something, he'll just sit there and then he can't go eat or anything. So you got to have space. So I tried to find a flat space that when they raid me, they'd only come from one direction, right? And this is all boxed in. See if you notice, it's all boxed in a cliff. So if they raid me, they're going to come from one direction, right? Well, I learned something early on from being here that they can't raid me. Hopefully, they'll try and raid me when you're here. Oh, I'm hungry. I don't have any food in my thing. Oh, it's because I died. That's right. I killed myself. There we go. Um, so when I got up here, they can't spawn inside your blue circle. And so my blue circle, with how I have it set, it goes all the way to the edges of everything. So I mean, it goes a little off the cliff here, down there. There's an egg down there. But it goes all along the edge, so they can't spawn here. So they have to spawn down below. Well, they don't climb. I mean, we can climb. You know, um, you can climb like nothing if you want to. But they can't climb, so they can't get up here. So they don't raid me. They can't. So unless they fix that, I found a base that they just can't raid, and it looks like they built this spot specifically for a base. I mean, you can see the blue wall goes right alongside of it, and then it only dips down there. And then, you have the front to adjust, and then the back, I didn't quite get it perfect on the back, so, um, and I wasn't going to pull it up and do it again, especially when you have it set, because if you pull it up, then it destroys a lot of stuff. But you can see right along these beds is where the line went, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I don't want it up against the wall because then they'll get stuck on the walls and stuff like that. The pals, they need to be fixed a little bit, which it's an early access game, so it's not a complaint at all. Don't get me wrong. Um, but that's so rating wise, you can't get rated up here. So think about stuff like that. The other thing that you want to set up when you're doing a raid base is if you have something like this here, obviously it wouldn't be good for me to put my box thing. This is the box I'm talking about here, if you don't know. But if I put it up there, then most of my stuff's going to be way up there, and so, you know what I mean? I can't use it. So, put it in the center. But what I'm trying to say is if you find something like this, if you can put it on the top of this thing, then they can't blow it up. And basically, if they blow this up, your base is gone. Like all your pals will drop on the ground, that were out here defending your base. They'll all drop on the ground. Everything that's connected to this thing. So, example, watch. I'll probably do it on accident, and I'll be mad. But if you go into destroy and you go to destroy it, it will tell you this. It'll say that if you disassemble it, some structures will just go away and you'll lose everything in it, in all of it. Um, some things that don't is, I think, boxes like this won't. I think the starting crafting little table won't if you destroy this, but I think a lot of other stuff does, and I'm not going to chance it because I did when they destroyed when they finally got my box down on the other one. I mean, everything dropped. Everything around me just turned into a pile of, well, it looks like this over here. A pile of this stuff just sitting around. You know what I mean? And it was horrible. And so then I was like, what am I gonna do? So then I just made a bunch of boxes and just had to stuff everything in boxes until I could find a base location. And then I found this place, and this place is huge. And I'll go over why I set it up this way, and I mean, other than putting the thing in the middle and stuff like that, but how I set everything else up to keep your pals on task and things, and instead of having them just do whatever they want to do. I mean, they're still going to do whatever they want to do, but it's more organized and better, so you won't have to stress so much about it. There's just a few things in the game that is it's just not fixed yet. So, and they're working on it. Clearly, they're working on it. But it's anything you can do to make it easier on yourself. And you've done this, like everybody's done this with games that they come out, they have problems. You find your workarounds. You know what I mean? Like you just, oh, it works like this. It makes it a lot easier. I'll just do this from now on until they fix it, right? Well, that's kind of what this whole setup is down here. Before I jump into that, though, hold on, I just got this out of an egg. I wanted to put it away. Before I jump into that, though, the whole. So I explained what the rush ore does. Uh, so I explained what the rush ore does. I explained why that's a good pet. I explained why the wolf is. I mean, he's super fast. They're really good to have. And then the Vixies, these guys here. So if you look at them, it says sometimes digs up items from the ground when assigned to ranch, right? So two things that you run out of a lot of right away that you need, she drops. And it will like accelerate you so much faster to have one or two of her. I would get as many as you can. So she was, I mean, she keeps switching sides, but she was in here. So she drops, he's dropping the wool, so ignore the wool. But she drops the balls, she drops gold coins, and she drops arrows. So arrows are a pain in the butt to have to keep crafting them, get your pet out, get him on task, craft more arrows. You know, same thing, the balls you find all over, but it's so nice to have 50 balls when you're trying to tame something. Like example, you're trying to tame that bird. Um, let's say you're trying to tame her and you're like level 8. To get her down to almost dead, you're still looking at, like, I think when you hit her and she goes up into the sky, like, you know, in the ball, I think she starts at like 20%. So you're going to need about 10 balls, unless you're lucky. You're going to need a few balls to get her in there. So it helps that when you're going to throw balls, like I just picked up some from here. I have 48 now on me. You know what I mean? So I can throw 48 to get that one tame if I have to. And then when I come back here, there's going to be more. See, there's already more. She's already digging up more. And then the gold you won't need right away, but you'll need it always. So you might as well start collecting it. So right there, I picked up 743 gold um, from it. However many balls, I didn't check. I didn't have any arrows on me because my arrows are sitting right there. So I got 30 arrows from it. And I mean, pretty much, I've only been gone since I've been doing the stream, since I was talking over at the starting location till here. So that's why she's so important to get, in my opinion. And she's easy to get. She's the easiest one of the three I recommend to get. Um, but you know, it is, everybody's gonna like their own tames for their own reasons, but that's why I like them. This cat here, that 700 gold, by the way, wasn't just from her. She only drops little amounts of gold. Like she'll drop 1 or 2 coins at a time. This cat here, he drops 10 at a time. So if he's a later game tame, and you find him in dungeons, um, the little dungeons that spawn around and stuff, you can tame them in there. They're pretty easy to tame once you if you're good enough to get into a dungeon, then you're good enough to get that tame. You know what I mean? You're more than good enough to get the tame. Dungeons aren't that hard either. Um, that's a different guide though. Um, so, uh, but yeah, that one's in there. So to move on to the next part of the base. So if you've ever played, oh wait, let me tell you this little tidbit real quick before I go on. So you see how this thing's on this line right here? It's right in the middle of the line. It wasn't intentional, but when I first got here, I had to place it down, um, and get everything started because there was nothing but rocks and trees around here. You know, it's full woods, and I had a spawn, an enemy spawn right over there, and I had an enemy spawn right over by this ranch over here. And so I could barely, I got close enough just to put it down and build it before this spawn came after me. So that way I had a quick teleport back here. Um, but I put it down, killed those guys, and then I put 4 foundations down, and then I put the thing on top of it. Okay, that's how I always do my bases. I'll show you when because I have a mining base I'm going to go over as well. And it's just a mining outpost. You want to keep it simple, or you can go elaborate too. It just depends on how much time you want to spend over there, really. I never want to be over there, so I don't. I have it bare minimum. Um, but basically, so when you set this up, and if you're trying to gauge everything, and when you're looking for a base location, and this is why I stopped explaining the other stuff to tell you this, is it's 9 foundations in every direction is the circle. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, and it's on the line, so I mean, it's real close, you know. And besides that, I walked over one, so it would be right here. Not that that would really make that much of a difference, I guess. But you know what I'm saying. So if you're picking a base location, there's lots of them that look nice and round, but this one looked way too big when I first saw it, and it barely fits in here. You know what I mean? So you gotta look for that too. Um, let me sleep real quick so we can see what we're doing. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, so now to keep your um, to keep your little guys on task easier. Oh, you actually did something there, Fire. To keep your things on task easier, you want to set up I set up area rooms, and I left them open right now because I'm not ready to close them in yet. Um, I don't need them to focus on certain things at this moment so much that I need to do this. But so example like in here, this one's not probably not the easiest one to start with. Let's start with the cooking room. So the cooking room, I only have 2 fires in here. These are basically, you don't need two, you only need one, but you're gonna want to, because when you cook a cake to breed, it takes like I think like 20 or 30 minutes or something like that for one cake to cook. So it's better to have a couple of them going. You know what I mean? So you can breed them a little faster. So you got 2 there. Hence, then that's why I have 2 eggs here, 2 egg hatcher thingies. Um, and I don't know how many fit in a breeder thing. I've actually never bred before. I don't have my cakes going on here yet. These are just eggs I found in the world. But I'm set up for it. I have everything. I'm a little low level, so I have to get the bees, which they spawn right off of my base down here. I have to capture one, but they're pretty hardcore. See, I think that's one right there. Yep. Nope, those are devouts. But yeah, they spawn right down there. But the bee guards and stuff, you'll worry about that. That's past this though. That's up when you're getting up to about level between around 25, let's just say. So, and I'm approaching 25, but like I said, I rocketed like 4 or 5 levels pretty fast, and you can do that. Um, but when you do that, your raids get harder, and but your pals don't level that fast. So, I mean, like if you look at my party, these are some of my best ones. Um, for what I carry around. Like he's probably one of my better champions. And then my two mounts that I mount, and then this guy, I put some work into him. So he's a level 2. Um, he's a level 2 on his fire stuff. But yeah, he's pretty strong for a fox. But I mean, I have other ones too. I'm just saying, look at the level wise, those are probably some of my stronger levels. You look in here, 4, 7, 5. I mean, let's look at something decent. 12, 9. Anything strong like this guy, level 3, gotta level her up. You know what I mean? Lavender, gotta level him up. Even the Tombats, you know what I mean? So you'll get raided. Speaking of which, my other one, these guys are really handy to have too. She's one of my main mounts too. Um, you got to level them up. So those are only level 20. I'm level 23. The raid people are level 25. So who's gonna win here? You know what I mean? Like these, and half of the pals won't fight when they come. I don't care if you have the thing set up right or anything. They won't do it. If they're sleeping, they won't wake up. They don't. You know what I mean? It's like you have to go pick them up and do stuff. Well, it's just a hassle. So, anyways, so that's why. And so two reasons why putting them in this room. If I want them to cook, let's see. I think I have the fox on me. So let's say I just want him to cook. So I'm going to shut this door. What I would normally do is I'd come in here, I would build a food thing, right? And I'd set it right here. I'd build this, right? I'm not going to do it, but I'd build a food thing, and then I would stick my fox in there. You would have to go pick one up, you know. So let's pick this guy up actually. It's funny that he's right here anyways. But you would stick him in here. Uh, there's nothing to cook, so he's not going to stay in here. But you throw him in here, and then you would go to your foundations. Oops. You'd go to your foundations, and you would just lock him in, just like that. And so he'd have his food normally, and then he would just sit there and focus on this. And then see, he's waiting to cook right now. And then let's say he wants to get distracted, take a break or whatever. Well, the problem with the pals is what they do is they'll take a break, and then he'll take a break and he'll wander off and he'll go over here somewhere. And then once he's done taking a break, he'll look for the first thing he can get into. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna go try and light this lantern over here. So he comes over here to sit here for 20 minutes trying to light a lantern when he needs to be cooking those cakes. You know what I mean? So that's why you lock him in there. You keep him on task. Same thing if you want ore done. That's why I have this big ore room. The reason why this room is so big is because a lot of the fire things aren't small like this guy. And this one, the cooking room, I think I can fit at least one big guy, if not two big guys in here. Well, with this one, I'm going to put another forge there, and if I have to, another forge like right there or something like that, or right here or something. But same thing, you would close it up, you'd put a food thing down, you'd lock the door, you'd keep them in there. And then it keeps them on task. They won't go wander off. The other thing, besides breaks that they do, is if you go to, if they go take it, like they're gonna go sleep, they come over here and sleep, and then they go back to work too, um, which is the same thing. It's like taking a break. So then they're gonna find something to distract themselves between here and there. Same thing with the cold guy when he's on the fridge. This guy gets up constantly. and does stuff like that. There is one trick to that though. For example, I have this chick down here, this one here. Now, the reason why I have her, it's better if I explain it over here. Now, the reason why I have her is because she has planting 2 and lumbering 2, right? I want her to plant, but once they plant, they don't stay there. They never stay there. And so I could lock them in the room here, but I want her to do 2 tasks. I don't need very much wood, but I want her to do wood while she's doing planting, right? So she's good for that because she's only got the planting and the wood. But the problem is she'll sit there and she'll never leave that wood thing um, and go plant because she's got food right here. And if she takes a break, she's not going to wander down there, right? So the trick that I learned is I put the beds down at the end of the base, at one end of the base. And the reason why you do that is because they all go to sleep eventually. So she'll come down here to go to sleep. She'll lay in the bed. She'll get up. Then she'll see that she needs to plant. She'll plant everything she needs to plant. Then she'll go back to work. See, and then so that fixes part of the problem. See, here she comes. She's gonna go to sleep. Watch. She's gonna do exactly what I just said. See, and now this guy's watering him, and so when she gets up, she's gonna come over and plant him for him. You see what I mean? And that's how she's gonna do it. Now the other thing that one of them's not enough if you need, like, I need berries. Like, I needed berries pretty bad. I don't need them right now. Like, now I have an abundance. But moving over here, I needed berries. Like, I was low on them for everybody. So, I needed 2 planters, and I have three plots. So I figured 2 planters would be good. I put this chick in here because she does planting and farming. She drops berries, so I mean it just adds to the berry collection. I don't have her out to actually gain berries from her, but um, the but yeah, so she'll drop berries anyways. But it's the same concept there. So one of these 2 are gonna go plant. You see what I'm saying? And and that way they're making sure to get the planning done, and I don't have to lock them in here right now. Now, the reason why I started with the fire rooms and kind of showing you that is because it's simple. You just put the fire people in there. That's all you need in there, right? And then I'll probably make an ice room, which is why he's right here because I can come out, as far as I need to with an ice room if I need to do an ice room. But for the planning rooms, if I want them to focus on planting and that's it, then I will the food plot thing, I'll put that down. It's right here right now. I'll put it in here. I'll lock the doors. I'll put a planter, a harvester, and a waterer in there. And so to show you on the side, let's look at the monkey. So on the side you'll need the planter to plant. Um, you'll need a waterer, watering. This guy doesn't have it, obviously. But you'll need a watering and you'll need a gathering. And then you will also need a transporter as well. So somebody that's a gathering and a transporter, which most of them go hand in hand like that, that'll work for just one guy in there, and then get a waterer guy in here and a planter. Maybe you can get one dude that does it all. You know what I mean? But you just lock them in here, and same thing. It'll do the same exact thing. Now, something that you might be asking yourself is, well, they got to go to sleep, right? Hence why I put the beds down here. They're going to run down here to go to bed, right? They always do. Oh, she's going to eat now, too. Let's see if she goes and plants. I bet she does. But yeah, so the bed situation. Yep, see, she's gonna go plant. Just exactly like I said, and then as soon as she's done planting here, she's gonna go down and keep farming the lumber for me. So that's one thing that's to do is to put the beds at the end like that. That's a really good tip to do for stuff like that. Because then they have to pass by, like, she's at the end, so she has to pass by every station to get down here and every station to get back down there. So yeah, so like I said, so now you're thinking, well, okay, well they got to go to bed, right? But you're locking them in rooms. Well, until they fix this, I have noticed that up in the right-hand corner up there, it's, it says how good conditions. The sheep seems hungry. Oh, now he's eating. Okay, but up there it says beds 12 of 12. Now, if I get rid of a bed, it'll say 11 of 12. Watch, I'll show you. It'll say 11 of 12. Now, see, it says pals without beds will get stressed, right? Well, they don't, as long as you have the beds here, they don't necessarily sleep in them. If you notice, they will sleep on the floor, they'll sleep anywhere. As long as the beds are here, um, as long as the beds are here, they they'll be happy. They don't need to sleep in the bed. Um, see, as soon as they do it, it'll go back to happy. So now they're all happy again. So you can lock them in the rooms. The other thing that you can do, which I did on the other server that I'm playing with Hellraiser Pony on. This is where we're doing some things on there, like multiplayer kind of stuff. But if you build, like, let's say I knew the raid was coming from this side and they could get up here and blah blah blah, right? So they're gonna come from this side. So rather than if you put a wall up, like any castle would do, they would put a wall up, like this. They'd put a wall up, right, to keep them out. So you put that wall up, and then let's say we do the whole wall, right? They're just gonna come and tear it down. Your pets aren't gonna go through the wall to go kill them, right? So they're just gonna rip the wall down. So something that I learned is in your defenses. I don't have it unlocked on this guy apparently, which I will do now because I figured out how to use it. I think I didn't unlock it because I didn't know how to use it properly. So the sandbag structures. So then you stick that down, right? So you'd put your wall down. Let's say this line right here is the wall. Okay, so you put the wall down and then you put this here, right? And then once you put it down, you would take your pet, um, and you would pick him up and bring him over here and throw him at the thing, and he would stand here, right? And then you have your wall built, so he can't get back inside. So you put a little food trough out here for him, lock him outside, and now you have guards outside your base. However, these guards are not going to be working, so you want your strongest guys out there, and you want stuff that you don't need. Like right now, example, I don't need him working on stone. I don't need her working on lumber. I have thousands and thousands of it. Like here, let's look at just in this one alone. I have 12,000 pounds, so 4,000 wood in just this one. Um, and then they put it everywhere. I mean, it's only a little bit here, but they put it everywhere. Same thing with the stone. Speaking of which, see, I picked up stone and I picked up wood. You know what I mean? Um, so you don't need those. So I can cut those too because I don't need them. I'm not going to go through that much stone and wood probably the rest of the time I'm playing. I don't know. I don't know how intense it is on the mat resource later on. Um, but I mean, you're probably not going to need that many. Let's see what eggs. Here's a bonus for you guys. Let's see what eggs I get. Oh, Gamos. I need him because I only have my big champion. I need the little ones because they're good for planters. And Ruby, or harvesters, I should say. And Ruby's good too. She gives you a buff. Oh, I filled my thing up already. Okay. So, in a nutshell, that's this base. I mean, like I said, I'm only at level 23. So I just unlocked metal armor. I haven't even made it yet. my metal armor on here. On the other server, I am, I think, level 25. Yeah, just about ready to hit 26 and get into the electrical stuff on my other server. This one I just power leveled though, so that's why if you look at my pals, I don't have any great pals. You know what I mean? Like I have very, very little. Um, these are all low level pals right here. I mean, none of these are hard to get. Even Ruby's easy to get. She's just on one of the islands. These guys, they're night ones. They're a little harder, but as starters. But now I've outgrown them. You know what I mean? And then there's just not a lot. This guy's really hard to get. He blows up and stuff. But I'm just making a point. Like I leveled so fast that the only good ones that I have, like these rare ones, for a lower level rare ones, like this one and this one, they all came out of eggs. So um, that's one problem if you try to level too fast. I don't think it wants you to. I think it wants you to kind of hold back and take your time and catch a bunch of pals, enjoy yourself, you know, that kind of stuff. Um, oops. Yeah, go do something else. And you come here. Alright. So that's that. It's almost time to go to bed, and then I'll show you how to set up a mining outpost. It's pretty easy. But you'll get to a point in the game where you'll need everything costs metal. And again, you know, you're swinging at the metal. It takes forever. And even like, you know, I can take a rush ore. I could put him in my hand, and I can warp out to somewhere, anywhere I want to, and to where I know there's going to be metal and farm them and warp back. But by the time I get back and just filling up his weight and my weight, which here I'll explain this too. Um, if you are going to do that before you set up a mining camp, and you're still like newer, trying to get, you know, trying to get that metal and not want to take forever, you grab a rush ore. I don't care which one you grab. Just grab one. This is where the kitty cats come in handy. So you want these. So you put your kitty cats in there. I'll usually bring like one guy that can defend me if I get into trouble. But if I'm going to a starter area, you really don't need it. I mean, so you put 4 of them in there. Okay. So now you got 4 cats and one in your mining guy. And what that does is if you look at my weight over here, it says 800, boosted 800 weight, right? Um, I only have 600 weight if you look on there. Um, so have I don't have 800 weight. And the reason why that it's up there is because of these guys right here. So if I take these guys out, now I have 600 weight. See, so I boosted myself. It looks like 50 per cat that I have in my thing. So it'll give you a little extra if you're gonna have to go out and do that, or even if you're transporting stuff like how I'm gonna be transporting ore from that base to this base. Um, or again, my tri-mate, he made a point too. You can bring the cooker, one of these cookers over there, one of the cookers, and cook it over there, because the metal bars, you know, it's a lot less weight. For 51, this is 25 bars, roughly 25 bars, and that's 400 pounds of ore. Where are my bars at? I swear I have bars somewhere. Okay, so right there's more than double that, and it's only 290 weight. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to set up a cooker, if you want to set up a cooker, then God, I hope I explained everything there. Yeah, if you want to set up a cooker, then then that's great. You can do that. Um, Otherwise, we're going to go over and set up the or show you. I'll show you how to set up the mining base and stuff. I want to check something really quick, so I'm going to take a 2-minute break before, because I'm waiting for it to get dark really, so I can sleep. So I will be right back. Dark. So now we're going to go over. I'm going to explain the mining thing. So basically, you're going to get to a point where you need tons of metal. You're just going to need, and you're going to, like I said, you're going to, like, even doing the little trick that I just showed you with the cats, adding extra weight and stuff like that. If you, even doing that, you're going to be making trip after trip after trip after trip. And it's not going to be any fun. You know what I mean? So what you want to do is you open the second base. Hold on 1 second. This guy's mad. I did take it off. Which one's the? I guess the workaholic. Yeah. There he goes. Now He'll go eat. He was upset. He was stuck in his room, I think. Anyways, so yeah, you'll get to the point. I think when you get to level 10 on this thing, if you walk up to it, there's missions, base upgrades. Well, I think when you get to level 10, or as you hit 10, you get a maximum number of bases to 2. And then, so you're thinking, oh, well, what are you going to do with your second base? Well, there's 2 things you could do with it. You could do like I did, and was able to transfer a base over here because I have two base things now. So it makes it easier to move. So that's one good thing about it. The other thing is well, you're out of ore, so why not use it to make a mining outpost? Because clearly there's not enough ore here. I mean, even if I had a couple, that wouldn't be enough. So we're going to show you how to get tons of ore. And my way is simple to run, but not overall the simplest, if that makes sense. The simplest is, like I said, um, adding the cooker over there, the furnace, to be able to cook it there, so that way you wouldn't have to carry so much weight back. But there's a downfall to that, and I'll explain that too. So my base, there's actually, I'm thinking about moving it, but over here, let's see, right next to the boss, I think it's right somewhere in this area, right in here, there is a spot just like where I'm going right now, and it actually is better than mine, and I'm thinking about moving my mining spot. So if I do that, I will set up a very fresh vid just on the mining. However, this is my mining spot here. This is called the Desolate Church. It's up on a little plateau area, um, and that's, yeah, it's the easiest one as a low level to set up, I think. And you have a spawn thing there. So, for example, since the spawn, or not the spawn thing, the teleport thing is good because it's on the end of this church over here. So this is the Desolate Church. Hey, Desolate Church. Um, you come up here, you'll get a little journal entry thing right here. Here's your teleporter. Inside here, there's a statue, so you can use this statue for free if you don't want to build one. They're pretty easy to build, so I don't know why you wouldn't just build one. And then back here is your little effigy thing, which, if you've enhanced your player stats, it's those green things you come across in the world. So, like, they get expensive pretty quick, so I need 11 to go up to the next one. Anyways, there's one right here. And then in here as well, somewhere is a treasure chest that spawns. I've already gotten it, so it doesn't look like it's spawned back yet today. As I get stuck inside the church. So, one good thing about keeping the base simple over here and not going and doing a bunch of things other than just a real simple base is like, so my main base got wiped, this example, right? So my main base got wiped. I need to move it, but I can't pick up. So where my main base is now, so as you could see, it was right in the middle here. Got wiped. So my closest thing is here, right? And all my mats are sitting on the ground right here. So the only thing that like, you have to put a base down. So you put a base down so you can teleport your your goods and services out of there, right? So I had to rip up, basically, my point is I had to rip up this mining base to go over there so I could fix my base, like gather all my resources and move it to the new location and build it, and then once that's built, then I can bring it back and set up my mining thing again. But if it's just simple, you don't have to do anything. You just pull it up and put it back down. If you put a bunch of stuff there, then you're gonna have to rebuild it and everything. The only thing you have to build here is the little PAL box thing down there. These things don't have to be here. These are just I was trying to do a double base. See how this I was gonna do a base to here and then a base to cover the church. But you can't build that close to, I believe, the statue or the transporter thing. So this is the absolute closest. This line right here is the absolute closest I could build foundations. But that little box thing, the very closest I could get it to go to the church is about right in here somewhere. Somewhere right in here. So to set up a mining base, you need a spot with a bunch of ore, like this. This is an ideal amount. Anything less than this would be a little short. More than this, you can handle more if you need more. So more is obviously better. But like I always do, so this thing, let's say this thing's not here. Um, let's say this thing's not here. I put my 4 foundations down, as I always do, and then I put this in the middle, where I want it. Now, I got kind of lucky when I placed this because I only had to move it once, um, a little bit. But when you want the blue line, of course, to go around the ore, right? And so this one just worked out perfectly. So when I first did it, I think it was like well over here, but then there was, I don't know, it wasn't as clean, and there was a reason for it when I was setting it up. You just adjust it a little bit to your needs. Um, Anyways, so you put that down, make sure the ore is in the thing. Um, then you want to put down a box. It's the first thing you do. So you put down the 4 things, you put down this thing, you put down the box. Okay, once you put down those things, that's when you don't need anything else. So when you come here, all you need to do is bring 3 things. Um, you don't need to bring fiber, but if you want to make it easier on yourself, you can bring fiber, like 15 fiber, 20 fiber, or something like that. I don't remember how much it takes, but you'll need at least a few of these, at least these, at least these. Hold on, I gotta get out of here. So what we want to do real quick is we're going to go to title screen. So this is a cheat, basically, and the reason why I'm doing it is because I'm explaining stuff to you, and this is why I was bugged out a little earlier here. But if you're getting raided, you can log off, if only in single player, only and not in co-op, only single player by yourself. If they're raiding you, you can log off and log back on, and they'll be gone. If they're not gone, then it'll be news to me. Okay, they're gone. Now, I normally would have actually fought them, because I could have easily just Just want to make sure that I didn't want them to destroy this, because if they destroyed it, I'd have to put it back up, and that would have just been stupid. So, but normally you could just come in and just start throwing stuff down. You see what I'm saying? And it would just attack them. But, um, but yeah, I didn't want to deal with that right now. So, and I didn't have my pets on me. Speaking of which, in case it happens again, oh, I don't want you. I just need my two guys. This guy and her will be fine. Oops. Yes. Okay. So, now, to get back to it. So I have my 4 foundations down. I have this down. I put my box down, which, so you'll bring, like I said, these 3 things. You'll bring stone, wood, and the pendulum fragments. Pendulum fragments, you just need whatever it takes to build this. I think like 10, I believe. But you can see it in your thing when you build it. But you bring those 3 things with you. You don't need a ton of them, just enough so you can, you don't want to have to farm when you're over here, because you're just trying to throw it down real quick. So, you know. So what I did is, so I'll put all this down, and then this is the first thing I do. So I don't even build anything yet. Like, even berries. I didn't even bring berries the first time I came over. Um, you can always warp over and grab some and bring them back. They're not going to starve right away, um, but this is all you need is um, the 4 foundations. You don't need this stuff. This stuff I was doing something with. But 4 foundations, you need as many beds as pets as you want working here, which I only do 6. It's like the perfect number for this spot for right now. And then you need this thing. And berries. So I guess you'll need to bring berries with you. You can either bring it with you now, or you can put it in there later. Oh, this is mine. I'm not going to put it in there. You can put the eggs in there, though. So you put it in there. They're ready to go. Okay, so you put the 4 foundations down. You got your stuff that you brought here. You got this. You got that. Now, like I said, I don't bring fiber. So what I do is I look for. I will drop out a bunch of things to start clearing stuff. And this is the same way when you make a base. So when you make a base, you just have what's on this platform, and then you'll see trees and everything around you. So then you go, okay, so I need to clear this stuff. So I am going to put 2 of these guys down. They only do lumbering, so they're gonna go do lumbering. Okay, they are broken, by the way, because I glitched the thing, logged out, logged back in. It's glitched, so now they won't do what they're supposed to do. See how they're blinking red up there? So I'll have to close the game or whatever to get them to do what I want them to do. But normally you'd put them out, right? They'd go start clearing. And then you go to the next thing. Um, for mining, you need ones like this guy here that has the number 2 on the pick over here. The mining over down, it's down lower. I can't go down. But the mining level 2 allows you to mine ore. Mining level 1 only does rocks. So if the thing game was working right now and it wasn't bugged because of me, then you would you'd put if you put the rush ore guy down, he's only gonna farm stone. There's no stone here. I mean, there's stone back there, so he'd go back there and farm that stone. He would just completely ignore these things. Um, but yeah, so you put down a couple miners, and then you put down a couple wood people, and then you'd put down a couple gatherers like these guys. These guys are good gatherers. Um, so you'd put them all down, then they would bring in wood, stone. They would bring in all 4 of these things that you have right here. They wouldn't bring in very much of these pendulums. That's why you bring them with you. And obviously you want a little bit of stone, a little bit of wood in the pendulums to build this thing. That's basically what you're bringing, and then just extra wood to be able to build this stuff. And I think this only takes wood too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's just wood as well. So, I mean, you could build all this right here with just some wood, a little bit of stone, and a little bit of pendulum. And then you, like you said, you put down those wood guys normally right now would be they'd be grabbing wood and fiber, and these guys would be carrying it back. And then you'd have your little base going. So that's what you would do to clear your base. You'd put some stone guys down, you'd put some wood guys down, and some gather guys down in a chest and some food, and let them go nuts. And then they'll clear this whole area. Like within probably 10 minutes or so, this whole area would be cleared, and then you could build your base, right? This is a mining outpost, so I'm not doing any more with it. And like even some of these need to go away because it just kind of complicates things. See, this is why I glitch the game. Every time, except for that other base, every time I log on, they raid me. There's nothing I can do. It's like ever since they did the update on the Xbox, um, it's constant raiding. I mean, I come here for 5 minutes, I get raided. It just that's why I moved my base from the other spot. Yeah, I couldn't keep up with it. I'd go out, I'd farm something, come back, get raided, almost die, and then you know what I mean. And then this last time where the raid was so hard, I couldn't even destroy him. It's just ridiculous. I didn't change the settings to make it harder or anything else. So I don't know what it's doing. But if you notice in this easy spot, easier area, I mean that's twice I've been here. They didn't even try to raid me the whole time that I explained stuff at the other base. Now watch, by the time I get out of here, which I'm almost done anyways, they'll probably try and raid me again. I think there's a glitch or something where they try to like up it and it's like too much now. So this is my raid base. As they were gathering, so as they're gathering and clearing, they'll gather these four things, and then you build these beds. I build six because I only use six. I don't want a lot of people over here that I have to worry about and stuff. To my knowledge, the raids won't happen if you're not at your base. It's only when you're at your base because you have to be able to defend. So what I do, so anyways, so what I do is I pick these guys. Um, I like these guys. They work through the night, which is nice. I don't know if you guys know that, but the night creatures, they work through the night. So I put out my three miners, and then I put out my three worms, my daydreamers. And the reason why is because the daydreamers, they transport stuff, they build stuff, right? So if something like this bed got destroyed, oh no, what am I gonna do? It got destroyed again. You know what I mean? I just put it out and they will build it for me. Watch, they probably won't because they're bugged. See, I'm getting raided again. And it's not due to the thing either. Okay, I'm not gonna build that right now. And these guys will not defend, so there's no point. Alright, well, here. What is coming? Hungry, relaxed. Those are the things that broke me last time. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna log out and log back in again. Now, you might say, well, it's doing it because you bugged it. But it didn't start, it's not the chicken and the egg kind of thing, is what I'm trying to say. Because I survived two raids before, well, no, that's not true. I, um, I went through three raids before I started learning how to reset it like this. So the first one that wiped me, I got on, it wiped me. And then there was two more while I was trying to gather all my stuff up. And and so they wiped my base again and again and again. It was stupid. So I'm gonna get out of here because these guys aren't gonna. They're gonna come again. I mean, that's just how it is. Let me grab a kitty cat real quick. So I want this build. Um, so, so yeah, so it wasn't because I bugged it. I mean, it might be now. I mean, maybe it's gotten worse because I bugged it or whatever. But um, I didn't. All I did was log out and log back in. You know what I mean? It's the only thing that. It's an event. So I've noticed that they reset everything on the developers or whatever have everything uh, linked on like an event thing. So basically, just like if you're playing another game that has tames or pets or animals out, and you do a dino wipe or a tame wipe or whatever, it'll wipe all the creatures in the game. That's kind of what it does when you log out and log back in, because the raids are what do you call it? They're an event. So if you log out in the middle of the event, this game's not to the point yet where it will remember the events going on. It just resets it. So then also that what resets is like chests in the world, other things. See, this chest is out. I just went through here. Um, I got a silver key from it. But see, it resets that and like eggs and things like that. Like those spawns down there. See, now it's a bee. See, a bee guard. It was the other thing, the priest guys, the pal priest guys. So, I don't recommend using cheats or glitches or anything like that. I don't condone it normally. The raid situation, that's a situation where it's broke. Like like I said, I can sit here on stream for probably the next 2 hours and maybe get raided up here once. I can log over to that other place, the mining base, which is not where I got raided from originally or where I started glitching it, and I'll be raided every like 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever what you saw. I mean, it's just too many times. Oh, I got a loot moon. Yay! What did I get? I got a ruby, which boosts fire damage if you have her in your party, and a loopy loopy. These guys, I use them for defense, but they're really good at handiwork. I don't want her anywhere either. Okay, so that's basically how you set up the mining situation, and so you guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Speaking of which, tomorrow we will be